Do you ever feel like you're on a hamster wheel of motherhood, desperately trying to keep up with a bunch of impossible rules you never even signed up for? You're told to be present, but also productive. Nurturing, but firm. To have a career, but to parent as if you don't. This isn't just you. This is the biggest lie we've been sold about motherhood, and it's specifically designed to make you feel like you're never, ever enough. That little nagging voice in the back of your head, the one that whispers, "You're not doing this right," it has a name. It's called mom guilt. And here's the secret. It's not a personal failing. It's not your fault. It's a symptom of a much larger, invisible script that's been handed down to us. A script that's practically impossible to perform perfectly. Today, we're not just going to read that script. We're going to tear it up. I remember standing in my kitchen a few years ago. It was 7 p.m. My toddler was having a full-blown meltdown on the floor. A work deadline was screaming at me from my laptop, and dinner was a distant dream. All I wanted in that one moment was 5 minutes of silence. Just 5 minutes to not be needed by anyone. And the second that thought crossed my mind, the guilt hit me like a ton of bricks. What kind of monster mother wants to escape her own child? I felt like a total failure. On one hand, I was failing at my job. On the other, I was failing as a mom because I wasn't just endlessly, joyfully, serenely present. I was caught in this invisible tug of war, feeling completely stretched and see-through. And the worst part? The loneliness. The bone-deep belief that I was the only one who felt this way. That night sent me down a research rabbit hole, and what I found is that this feeling of inadequacy isn't an accident. It's manufactured. It's the direct result of cultural myths and outdated ideas we've all absorbed without even realizing it. These myths have created a version of motherhood that is romanticized, unrealistic, and frankly, toxic. And it's time we expose the 3 biggest lies propping this whole thing up. First up, the big one. The ideal of the intensive mother. You know her. She's the mother who is 100% child-centered, emotionally available 24/7, and pours every last drop of her time, money, and energy into optimizing her child. She turns every moment into a teachable one, only serves organic, hand-pureed meals, and orchestrates a life of endless stimulating activities, all with a calm, beatific smile. Sociologists call this intensive mothering, and it holds every mom to a standard that says her child's needs must always come first and her own needs. Well, they shouldn't really exist. The problem? It's a full-time job that's completely unattainable, yet it's the expectation for all mothers, whether they also work outside the home or not. This lie is the guilt you feel for using screen time just so you can finally drink your coffee. It's the knot in your stomach when you see another mom's perfect Pinterest craft on Instagram, while you're just trying to make it to bedtime. Research shows this pressure is directly linked to burnout, anxiety, and depression in mothers. We've been tricked into thinking that taking care of ourselves is selfish. But this ideal wasn't designed for real, human mothers. It was designed for a mythical supermom who doesn't need sleep, has no personal ambitions, and never, ever gets tired of hearing her own name called. The second lie is a little more modern and way more sneaky, the myth of the seamless juggler. This is the woman who effortlessly balances a killer career and a perfect family. She's expected to work like she doesn't have kids and parent like she doesn't have a job. This lie is designed to make us fail because it's built on a direct conflict. Society tells us, go, have a career. But the old expectation that mothers should be the primary, do-it-all caregiver never actually went away. So we're stuck in an impossible double bind. You feel guilty at work because you're not with your kids, and you feel guilty with your kids because you're not doing work. You're in a constant state of feeling like you're half-assing everything. This is all fueled by the fact that even in the most equal households, moms still carry most of the invisible labor, that endless mental load of scheduling doctor's appointments, planning meals, remembering that it's crazy sock day, and managing the emotional temperature of the entire house. This mental overload is a massive, unacknowledged cause of burnout. The myth of the seamless juggler says we should not only be able to do all this, but do it silently, without asking for help, and definitely without complaining. Because needing help must mean you're failing, right? It's a setup for chronic stress. And the third lie is the one staring us in the face every single day, the social media mother. She lives in the perfectly filtered squares of your Instagram feed. Her house is spotless. Her children are always cherubic and dressed in coordinating beige outfits, and she bounced back from childbirth in about a week. She is the highlight reel of motherhood, and she is making the rest of us feel miserable. Let's be real. Comparison is the thief of joy, and social media is its getaway driver. Seeing these polished, curated moments triggers intense feelings of inadequacy. We know it's not real. We know we're just seeing the best 1% of the day. And yet, it's so easy to fall into the trap of wondering, why doesn't my life look like that? In fact, a 2023 survey found that about a third of moms feel pressured to post content that portrays a perfect parenting lifestyle. This lie is so damaging because it creates a fake reality of what motherhood is supposed to look like. It makes you feel so alone in your struggles, thinking you're the only one whose kid has a tantrum in Target, whose house is covered in crumbs, and who is sometimes just plain touched out. This constant parade of false perfection chips away at our confidence, one scroll at a time. So, what do? How do we get off this guilt-ridden hamster wheel? It starts with an aha moment, the life-changing realization that these aren't your rules. This feeling of failure isn't a reflection of you. It's a symptom of a broken, outdated cultural script, the motherhood myth. This myth is a tangled web of historical roles, cultural expectations, and commercial pressures, all designed to create an impossible ideal. It tells us that motherhood should be this completely natural, blissful, all-fulfilling state. It whispers that any negative feelings like frustration, boredom, or regret are a sign that something is deeply wrong with us. But that's the biggest lie of all. Motherhood is a messy, complex, human experience, filled with every emotion under the sun. The guilt we feel is the friction between our real lives and the impossible demands of this myth. The second you realize that the guilt is an external pressure, not an internal failing, everything changes. You can stop blaming yourself and start questioning the rules. You're not a bad mom for needing a break. You're a human being. You're not failing because your house is messy. You're living a full life. You aren't inadequate for having goals outside of your kids. You are a whole person. The goal is not to become the perfect mother in the myth. The goal is to tear down the myth so you can be the real, good enough mother your children actually need. Recognizing the myth is step one. Actively tearing it up in your own life is the fun part. Here are 3 ways to start right now. First, trade perfection for good enough. The concept of the good enough mother comes from a pediatrician who knew that kids don't need perfect parents. They need real parents who make mistakes and know how to say, "I'm sorry." So, be kind to yourself. When that mean inner voice starts listing your failures, talk back to it like you would a friend. Then, get clear on what actually matters to your family. Not to Instagram, not to your mother-in-law, but to you. When you parent from your own values, the guilt just can't stick. Second, set some fierce boundaries. This is all about protecting your energy. Start with your phone. Unfollow accounts that make you feel like crap. Put a time limit on your scrolling. Then, practice with people. It is 100% okay to say no to things that will stretch you too thin. It's also okay to have a polite but firm response for unsolicited advice. A simple, "Thanks, I'll think about that," lets you end the conversation without absorbing their judgment. Third, make the invisible visible and share the load. A huge source of burnout is all that invisible work we do. You were never meant to do this alone. Humans evolved to raise kids in villages, not in isolation. Sit down with your partner and make all that invisible work visible. Write down every single thing it takes to run your household. When it's all there on paper, it's undeniable. From there, you can start divvying it up more fairly. And don't be afraid to ask for specific help from your partner, your family, your friends. Asking for help isn't weakness. It's a sign of incredible strength. The perfect mother is a lie. She's a ghost that haunts our houses and whispers insecurities in our ears. She thrives in our silence and shame. But today, we dragged her out into the light. We named her, we broke down her power, and now we know how to fight back. Being a mother isn't about sacrificing yourself on the altar of perfection. It's about being a real, messy, loving, and whole human being who is raising other human beings. Your worth isn't measured in organic snacks or a spotless home. It's measured in the love and resilience you model every single day. You are not inadequate. You are enough. You are exactly the mother your child needs. Now, I really want to hear from you. Which part of the motherhood myth makes you feel the most pressure? Drop it in the comments below. When we share our stories, we break the isolation and prove we are not alone in this. Let's start tearing this myth down together.